All right, SML, here we go. It's draft day. Finally here. Feels like we've been waiting forever. But here's going to be my final mock draft as well as the collective mock draft of the SML. And we'll see how we do. Starting with the first pick, we've got Prime taking the Colts. I've got him taking the Colts. 16 out of 19 of you guys have him taking the Colts for 84%. Been the Colts every year. I think the safe bet is to say he takes the Colts again. Next up, number 2 is my pick. I've got me taking the Browns. 95% of you have me taking the Browns. 18 out of 19. There is one person who doesn't think, I guess, that I was being honest when I said it's the Browns. But 18 out of 19. Second highest total. Next up is Mike. I've got him taking the Washington football team. You guys have him taking the Washington football team. 11 out of 19. 58%. So a lot of people think he's going to Washington. That kind of gets him over there in the NFC East. He can face Rams, who's obviously everybody thinks is going to be the Cowboys. And then he's just got to worry about the Giants and the Eagles. Hopefully for him, it's an easy division. He had Faz last year, and that kind of was pretty much 2 losses every season. So hopefully he gets in a little bit more competitive division this year. And I think that NFC East is going to be that division. At 4, we have Woods. So my pick for Woods was the Panthers. I think he's been pretty open in chat that he's not set on the Jaguars. I think Prime going Colts might push him to another division. I know he likes the Jaguars, and I think it would be tough for him to pass on him with Trevor Lawrence. But at the same time, I think he wants to go to a division where he thinks he can win the division. And I think it's going to be the Panthers for him. However, 13 out of 19 of you guys said Jaguars, 68%. So I'm in the minority here with the Panthers, but I think he's going to leave that AFC South. Coming in with the next pick, we've got Meats. Both me and the majority of the SML agree it's going to be the Bills. 16 out of 19 said the Bills, 84%. He's going to have his mobile quarterback, regardless of what he says about whoever he said he had with the Giants, Davis Webb or something. The last 2 seasons or 2 cycles that I've been here, it's been mobile quarterback with X Factor or superstar, and I don't think that ends here. I think he's going to go Josh Allen, and the Bills and that AFC East should be fairly weak. I mean, the Bills are going to have an advantage over the other 3 teams right off the bat just based on roster, and I think he'll take that escape artist in that stacked roster and go to the AFC East. Next pick is going to be Graham's. Everybody's got him taking the Cowboys. 19 out of 19 taking the Cowboys. I've got him taking the Cowboys. He's pretty much said as much that he's taking the Cowboys. So that was an easy one, and that'll put him in a division with Mike. So a winnable division. Maybe we see a little Graham's resurgence. Next pick is NYT at 7. NYT, I've got taking the 49ers. He took the Titans last night in the primer draft, but I had him taking the 49ers even before that. I think everybody knew kind of. He said yet in the chat when he talked about not having the Titans in any league other than SML, and sure enough, he took them in the primer. Despite that, 8 out of 19 of you guys say he's going to take the Titans for 42%. I have a feeling 42% are probably going to be wrong on this one because I don't think he takes them in 2 leagues. And he's even said as much as that he doesn't usually take them in 2 leagues. So my guess, 49ers on this one. Already has a superstar quarterback and a really good team to build with. Next pick is going to be Coop at 8. 13 out of 19 said Coop would take the Chiefs, 68%, and I'm going to agree with this. It's his favorite team. They're a stacked team. I think there's no way Coop passes on the Chiefs. Now, whether or not he just runs the ball and never uses Mahomes or Hill, that's probably something that's possible. All right, coming in at number 9, we've got Faz. We kind of split here because I have Faz taking the Jaguars and going after Prime. Jags fall to him. It's going to be tough to pass on Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Laviska Shenault, DJ Chark, a lot of the guys that, it's his favorite team. He likes the guys. I know he's got them in Dan's league, but that lasts, 2-3 seasons, then turns into a fantasy draft. So I think he's going to take the Jaguars, follow Prime. But the rest of the SML isn't quite convinced of that. And 7 out of 19 have him taking the Panthers, which is 37% of the league. So it'll be interesting to see what way he goes. I definitely think it's going to be the Jaguars, but It really may come down to which way Prime goes there. Next up is going to be KJ's pick. KJ's pick's kind of tough. He hasn't really said much. He's been really quiet. He'll come in and complain about his work day, and then he's gone. Not much hints on his team selection. I don't think he takes the Titans because I don't think KJ's 100% convinced he's going to make it through the cycle, and I don't think he wants to take the Titans from Tiny or maybe even from Matt if they were to fall that far. I think a team that he could go with would be the Giants. They've got a decent amount of picks. They've got the Bears pick eventually if the roster gets updated. They've got Saquon Barkley, really good offense to start with, and I think that's going to be something that KJ will look forward to. The speed, Saquon Barkley, obviously, one of the better running backs, and he had more of his success once he got Alfonso Clinton on the Steelers. So I think he'll start with the Giants, and it puts him in a fairly easy division with Mike and NYT. Nothing too crazy. He hasn't had great success against NYT, but I'm sorry, not NYT. It would be just Mike in this one. So that's a good start for him is to just have Mike and Grams. Then next we have Tiny at 11. And even though KJ passes on the Titans, I think Tiny will go with the Eagles. I think he's going to pass on the Titans as well. I don't think once he sees Faz and Prime in that division, I think he's going to go with the Eagles. And backing up real quick, my pick was the Giants. You guys also, 7 out of 19, picked the Giants for KJ, so 37%. So I think we're on the same page there. Maybe he's mentioned the Giants. But then Tiny with the Eagles. I think a big thing with his Eagles pick here, he's got the draft picks, which I think he'll like. The ability to build the team. We've seen him kind of flop on draft picks before. But I think a big draw for Tiny is going to be that he gets to play in the division with KJ. It sounded, I know at least once in chat, I heard one of them talking about how they'd like to play against each other in a division. And I think the Eagles, at this pick here, the Eagles aren't being picked too high. 11 is probably a good spot for them with all that draft capital. And I think Tiny goes with the Eagles, and that rounds out the NFC East. So you've got Mike, you've got Grams, you've got KJ and Tiny. I think Tiny finds that to be a division where he's got a chance. He's got picks. He gets to play with KJ. I think that's a perfect fit for him. And the rest of the league, or at least a decent amount of the league, agree is 6 out of 19 have Tiny taken the Eagles, so 32%. Then we get into Figs at 12. Figs has kind of been all over the place. He says he's taking the Ravens. He says he's taking the Patriots. He's taking a fast receiver. Nobody really knows where he's going. I've got him going to the Buccaneers. I think they're a team that's really good. He sees Woods there as a team that he can compete with. And then Tom Brady, there's a Patriots guy. He's not going to take the Patriots because they're not quite that good, but next best thing would be getting Tom Brady. So I haven't taken the Buccaneers. The rest of the league, however, disagrees. There's two teams, the Ravens and the Patriots. Both got 6 votes, so 32% each. So that's right there. 64% of the league total thinks it's going to be one of those two teams. I'm not sure Figs even knows at this point. So I've got him taking the Buccaneers, but it could be Ravens or Patriots, according to you guys. Then we've got Dan at 13. Dan at 13, also second most votes. 18 out of 19 say the Steelers. So just one team thinks he's going to be a different squad there. But 18 out of 19 say the Steelers, 95%. It's his favorite team, so it would be tough to see him going to a different team. Next we have Dump. With Dump, I gave him the Lions. He's talked a lot about the Lions. I really don't think he's going to go to the Lions, but as much as he said it's Lions, I'm going to put him down for the Lions. Dump not usually one to smoke screen, it seems, so I'll give him the Lions. The league, however, 3 out of 19 for the Ravens and 3 out of 19 for the Lions. So only 16% on each of those teams, but they were the leading vote getters, and I think the Lions probably, as much as he's talked, will be the pick. So I have him there at 14 with the Lions. Then we got Paulie and the Chargers at 15 in my mock. I think the Chargers, really good team. He gets so far only Coop in the division. He knows RD is going to try to follow Prime, so he's not going to take the Raiders. It's a very winnable division, and especially with that roster. And I think that's two things that Paulie's going to look for: a division he can win, and a good roster. So I've got Paulie taking the Chargers. But that wasn't the leading vote getter. The leading vote getter was the Giants. 4 out of 19 said the Giants, 21%. And that's not a bad choice either. But in this mock draft, the Giants are long gone by the time Paulie gets to pick. All right, then we have the next pick. 16 is Future. I have Future taking the Cardinals. I think it's a good team for him. He's got Kyler Murray, that super fast defense, especially for users. They just moved Simmons to middle linebacker. The guy's probably immediately the best middle linebacker user in the game. And I think Future will enjoy that team, especially having a mobile quarterback, or even just a quarterback after last cycle, kind of going through quarterbacks till he finally ended up with Haskins. So I haven't taken the Cardinals. The rest of the league, 4 out of 19 was the leading vote getter. The Dolphins, 21%. Dolphins wouldn't be a bad pick for him. I don't know if he wants to play Meats. Maybe he doesn't even care that Meats is there. But the Dolphins could use a little bit of work, but they do have some pieces they can move and some draft capital to use to build them up. I just have a feeling he's going with the Cardinals. All right, 17. 17 is Lawyer. Lawyers said pretty much since the end of the last cycle, he doesn't want the Falcons this year because he doesn't think he's going to do anything with them trade-wise or moving pieces. I disagree. The league disagrees. 12 out of 19 have picked the Falcons, 63%. At this spot, I think the Falcons are one of the better teams. It's his favorite team, and you got probably the most exciting rookie in the entire draft class with Kyle Pitts. I just don't see this being the year he passes on the Falcons. And he said there were 3 teams he wanted, and then maybe he would take the Falcons. I'm going to assume those 3 teams were way up there on the draft board, and he's going to end up with the Falcons anyway. Just don't see any way he passes on them and Kyle Pitts. All right, next up is October. October, I have taken the Dolphins there. I think he was stuck with the Texans last year and didn't have any flexibility to build anything. And I think that may play into his decision here. So I haven't taken the Dolphins. Similarly, you guys haven't taken the Giants. I don't think the Giants fall to 20, but as we saw in the primer draft last night, Giants could fall all the way to the end. So 4 out of 19 of you guys haven't taken the Giants, 21%. And if he does take the Giants, that is another team that he can kind of build with. He has a little more flexibility, and I think that's something he's going to be looking for. At 19, this is where it starts getting tricky. I've got Noel taking the Packers. He hasn't really said much of anything about which way he's leaning. But I've got him taking the Packers. He took the Bills last year. They were kind of a ready-to-go team, but not quite as good as they're going to be this year. I think a quarterback is going to be a big thing for Noel. He had Allen, didn't like him. Then he got a rookie, didn't like him. Then he got Hartwig. Seemed okay with Hartwig, but I think he's going to look for a team that's at a better starting position and maybe has an easier path. Not that the AFC East was that difficult, but the way the NFC South or NFC North is shaping up, I think he's going to look at that and see Dump having the Lions puts Dump at a little bit of a disadvantage. And then the Packers pretty much well out in front of all the other teams talent-wise. You guys, however, disagreed and went with 5 out of 19 taking the Seahawks. 26% said the Seahawks. I could see the Seahawks being a team he would want. Similar situation where he's already got the quarterback in place. And really both situations you have an older quarterback that you don't know how long they're going to last. So it'll be interesting to see which way he goes there. Would put him in a division with NYT and Future, so maybe he sees that as something winnable too. So Seahawks definitely in play as well, but I have them going Packers. Then we've got Colt at 20. Colt, one of those guys that really likes his running back and he likes his tight end. So I haven't taken the Ravens, mostly because the Ravens falling this far is going to be tough to have them drop any further. But you have Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins, obviously not injured in Madden, so you don't have to worry about that injury. And then Ravens tight ends with Mark Andrews. You got Hollywood Brown there to have that little speed threat. And the defense isn't terrible. It's going to need some work, but the first season or two, it should be pretty good. So I think you can't pass on the Ravens. But you guys disagree. 8 out of 19, so 42% say the Raiders, which I think the Raiders are another team that's a really good fit for him. Other than Jacobs being less of a receiving back than Kamara, but he's going to have Ruggs. He's going to have Waller. Two really similar offenses outside of the quarterback position. Then we have two-step. Two-step, one of those guys that doesn't say much, so he's tough to get a read on. His last two teams, I think he was the Rams and the Bengals this year. I don't really know. I don't even know Two-Step's favorite team. So I have him taking the Broncos, one of the better teams available. Easier division. You've got Paulie in there, and you've got Coop in there. So it's not unwinnable. Paulie would be the clear favorite, but I don't even know if Two-Step picks based on where he thinks he can win a division. So I have him taking the Broncos. They're going to be a really good team, especially if they can figure out that quarterback position and get a running back to replace Melvin Gordon. They have a rookie in there that's probably not bad anyway. So that could be a good team, especially falling down to 21. It's one of the three teams that you guys have agreed on. These three teams got 3 out of 19 votes. You got the Buccaneers, the Broncos, and the Jets. All three teams I could see him going with. I don't know if he's going to go with the Jets as more of a rebuilding thing, but he did take Burrows, who was a rookie quarterback last year. Maybe he goes with Zach Wilson, who's a rookie quarterback this year, and then builds that rookie up. Zach Wilson only being star as opposed to superstar like Burrow was last year could kind of sway him. But no team's really got an overwhelming amount of votes in that one. Then we move down, and Matt's the next pick. And in this scenario, the Titans are there, and I don't think it's any question if they're there, that's who he's taken. He's been extremely vocal about it. That does set up a hell of a division, though, if it's him, Faz, and Prime in there. The other two teams that you guys voted on, 5 out of 19 votes each for the Titans and the Vikings. So 26% of you agreed on those two teams, which puts you at 52%. Say it's going to be one of those two teams. And I think that's probably fair. He's changed his little Discord avatar to the Vikings, and he's talked completely 100% set on the Titans if they're there. So those two teams seem like the obvious choices, and that's probably why 52% of the view picked one of those two teams. Now for one that's really surprising, you get down to pick 23, which you wouldn't think you'd have a lot of agreement here, but both myself and you guys have already taken the Texans. 11 out of 19, 58% for the 23rd pick are that confident it's going to be the Texans. And that's due to, one, he said he's following Prime, and two, the Texans would never be this high unless you were trying to follow somebody. And so everybody agrees, or 11 out of 19 of you agree, the Texans to RD. I think he's going to have a extremely uphill battle if he does this and everything kind of shakes out the way I have it with Matt, Faz, and Prime in that division, because he's starting severely hamstrung with that Texans roster. All right, so the next pick, this was the least agreed upon pick. I have DW taking the Bears. I think picking down here this far, you're just looking for that one piece maybe, and Justin Fields could be a fun guy to play with for the whole cycle. So that's why I have him taking the Bears. And you guys have him taking the Jets, the Bears, the Cardinals, and the Bucks. All of those teams got 2 votes out of 19. So that's 8 out of 19, which means there's another 11 teams out there. It was kind of all over the place for DW. And it sounds like from chat, he's all over the place too. Next up, 25, we've got Field. And I've got Field taking the Seahawks. You guys haven't taken the Packers. 3 out of 19 taking the Packers, so 16%. But I think we both agree that he wants a mobile quarterback, at least Aaron Rodgers type mobile. Maybe not the escape artist quarterback, which there won't really be any of them left by this pick, most likely. But at least somebody that can move around. He had a 99 rated Reddick. I think he was 99. He was in the 90s. But he was slow, and Field pulled him out to put in Baker Mayfield in our game. The quarterback being a statue isn't going to work for Field if he has a choice, and I think he's going to go for whatever the more mobile quarterback on a good team is. So I could see the Packers. I just think they're gone by the time they get to him, and I've got him taking the Seahawks. But 3 out of 19 had the Packers, 16%. 26 QP. This was one of the more agreed upon ones. 5 out of 19 of you guys had him taking the Jets for 26%. I also have him taking the Jets here if everything falls out this way. You got a quarterback and you've got draft capital to build with. You've got some cap space. And there's a couple little pieces there. That defensive line is sneaky good. So I think he takes the Jets there. 27, we have Clink. And I've actually got him taking the Bengals. I know he said the Lions won't fall past him, but because Dump takes the Lions at 14, I think he's got to go a different route. And I think he goes with the Bengals here. Bengals, you've got Burrow, you've got Jamar Chase. You've got some pieces there. T. Higgins is another guy. Joe Mixon is another guy. The offense looks really good. Defense needs some work. So I've got him taking the Bengals. You guys have him taking the Lions because you don't have Dump taking them. 7 out of 19 taking the Lions, 37%, which is pretty good for all the way down here at 27. 30. I keep saying 30. I'm reading my spreadsheet here, so I'm off by 2. 28. 28 is D-Muse. To me, if the Saints are there, it's a no-brainer. 13 out of 19 of you guys even said the Saints. He's said as much in the chat. If the Saints are there, that's who he wants. That's his team. And picking from these bottom teams, it's tough to fault him for taking the Saints. The next pick is Finns. So Finns in the bottom 4. Probably happy to see this team there. I haven't taken the Raiders. You got Waller, Jacobs, and Ruggs. That's a good offense to start with, and plenty of speed on defense. So he's at least on the offensive side almost got his Wiggins and Adams combination with probably a better quarterback. So I've got him taking the Raiders here. You guys actually have him 4 out of 19 have him taking the Saints. So 4 guys at least think that the D-Muse passes on the Saints, and 21%. So we'll see if the Saints are there. That wouldn't be a bad spot for him either. I just don't see D-Muse passing on him. All right, down to our final 3. And I've got ZZ taking the Vikings. I think the Vikings here at 30 are actually probably a pretty good pick. We saw what Faz did with them last year. Dalvin Cook's going to be really good. The defense should be good. You got to figure out what you want to do with Kirk Cousins, because he's kind of got that noodle arm, but he's better than some of the quarterbacks that some of these other teams are going to have. And then you have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, 2 superstar or better receivers. So that offense is pretty much going to be set. You might have to figure out another receiver once Thielen regresses, but picking at the 30 spot, the Vikings are probably a really good spot for him. You guys, however, have him taking the Bengals. 5 out of 19, 26% saying the Bengals. 31, we got Spooky. Spooky, I think, goes back to the Rams. He was the one that initially started building up Akers, got him the Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to go back, especially when it's in this scenario, Rams or Patriots. I think he's going to go back and maybe finish what he started. 5 out of 19 of you guys said the Rams, 26%. So we'll see if Spooky goes back there. He'll have Stafford instead of Goff. And Deshaun Jackson will be a nice addition there. We know Spooky likes to air it out. So I haven't taken the Rams. What's not much of a choice. And then finally, Chris, he's been wondering who he's going to get. I think it's going to be the Patriots. And you guys agree. 8 out of 19 say the Patriots. 42% have agreed on the last pick in the draft. They're just not exciting. Mac Jones, I don't think he's going to get any ratings bumps or anything just for being the starter. Now you've lost Cam Newton, which would have been a trade piece, I think, if you decided to go with Mac Jones. There's just nothing exciting about the Patriots team. And I think they're going to fall to 32 unless one of Paulie or Fig takes them, just because they're Patriot fans. But this has been the SML mock draft. It's just before 9:30 in the morning, so we are under 12 hours until the SML draft kicks off. And hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll see who's right. And good luck on the mock draft challenge that 19 of you have submitted mock drafts for. That's pretty good. Only 13 of you don't need $100. So good luck to everybody, and happy draft day.